Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. We are on week 3 of Old School April. You may hear thunder and rain because it is very rainy today. I don't know how many books I'm going to get to because for sure I'm reading Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. This is my copy. It's a little over 600 pages. So I'm for sure reading this one, and we'll see after that what else I get to. But this is what I'm starting with, and then I'm watching some more Dawson's Creek. I plan on playing some more Legends of Zelda. I'm really into that game. I want to do some coloring pages and work on my diamond painting coaster set I was showing you. And then we'll see what else we get into. I'll keep you updated. I've been reading pretty much all day. It's been raining all day. It's the perfect reading weather. I've had the house to myself, and I was able to really dive into this book, and I'm glad that I did because I'm really into this. I've been fully immersed into this world, and I'm loving it. I'm just under 200 pages into this. I'm absolutely hooked. I love Robert McCammon's writing style. He's really building this whole scene, and I feel like I'm really getting to know these characters. I'm really getting to know this town, the town of Zephyr. It's in Alabama, and it's a small town. Corey and his dad, they witnessed this car plunging into a lake, and it's obvious from the state of the driver that he's been murdered. And it's pretty horrific, and it really affects Corey and his dad, especially his dad. It really affects his dad. His dad is really having a hard time, and it leaves behind this whole mystery because they don't know the circumstances. They don't know who did it or anything. Being a small town, everybody is there are these rumors, and everybody's trying to figure out who did it and all this. So I'm really getting to know some characters within the town and some goings on in the town and things like that, and also getting to know some of Corey's friends. He's got this little friend group, getting to know them and some of Corey's family. There's some typical small town things happening, and then some non-typical small town things happening. But yeah, and also it's set in the 60s, so you have some of those things typical of that time period. But it's excellent. I'm really loving it. I'm really glad so many people recommended this to me because yeah, it's really good. I'm already feeling the nostalgia of this. Not because I was born in 86. I didn't grow up in the 60s, but even not growing up in the 60s, you feel the nostalgia of just going back in time to just growing up, and feeling that taking me back to my 12-year-old self of just growing up and hanging out with friends and all those things, much like I felt with Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. I don't know how the updates are going to go this week, honestly, because I have so many appointments. I really wish they would slow down, but unfortunately they're not going to anytime soon. It's just that's where I am right now. I have a lot of them. So the curveball's been posted. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do the curveball this week. It might not be until the weekend, But I can go ahead and tell you what it is, because by the time this video is out, the Curveball will have expired. So, and I'm supposed to find a nostalgic place, some place that was nostalgic to me. It doesn't have to be literal, like even if it's some place that I didn't literally go, like maybe I used to go skating, so I can go visit a skating rink, something like that. Then I'm gonna try to find some place that I actually went, but we'll see. It might be hard because a lot of places are closed now. But anyways, I'll have to really think on that, because try to remember some things I used to like to do and stuff. So, but I'll probably have a few days because I have so many appointments. It'll probably be this weekend. But anyways, I don't know how the updates are gonna go. It might take me a couple days to update you. We'll see. But yeah, I will let you know how it goes. It's been a couple days since I updated you. Sorry if the lighting's super weird. Still rainy. But we're just working with the lighting today. I finished Boy's Life. Like I said, it's been a couple days. Oh my God, this was so good, so good. It's a new favorite. It is definitely made it to my top favorites list. I loved it so much. I mean, it's a coming of age story, and that's the perfect way to categorize this. I mean, they classify this as horror, and it does have some sort of horror elements to it, but I mean, really, it's a coming of age story. Yeah, there's a murder mystery in this, but that's really not the main focus of it. Not really. You know, the whole town is trying to figure out what happened. Corey and his dad are trying to figure out what happened. Corey and his friends are trying to figure out what happened. And, you know, Corey, he really wants to try to figure it out and try to figure out what happened and who did it and all this stuff. Well, you learn a lot about all these different characters within the town, and a lot about the town itself. It's a small town in Alabama. But you learn a lot about the different characters, and they're all very well developed. And you have a lot of the typical small town characters, and then there's some unique characters too. And there's some that you wouldn't necessarily expect. You have that small town preacher, and that was just, oh my God. There was a scene in, I'm not going to say too much about it, I don't want to give anything away, but there was a scene in the church in here that cracked me up. It made me laugh so much. There were some scenes in here that made me laugh. There were some scenes that completely ripped my heart out. I had all the feelings in this. This sent me through all the feelings. It really did. And it's so rare for me to experience that. It's so rare for me to find a book that gives me that experience. It really is. I don't have that very often. I don't run across that very often. So that's what puts this on the favorites list, is because it made me feel all those things. But yeah, this is about growing up. This kid, he learns so much over a year. He grows up so much over this year, and he learns so much, and he kind of learns too that life isn't all innocent, like he's naive, and he learns that people aren't all so nice, you know what I mean? And but yeah, this is really about growing up, and that's what it boils down to. It's full of adventure, and it's full of, the things kids get up to, and their little friend group, and they deal with all the things that typical friends go through, and then some that typical kids shouldn't have to deal with as kids too. But there's bullying, and then there's, like I said, the small town preacher, and this small town murder, this mystery, and there's magical elements. There's all the things. But yeah, I freaking loved this so much, and it was relatable in a lot of ways, and it was nostalgic, and it was just really, it was a whole world here, and I just felt everything here. It made me feel everything. And it literally brought me to tears in a couple of moments and ripped my freaking heart out in a couple of moments. And it's just so rare to find a book that can do that. But yeah, this one did. And I highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. Especially if you love coming of age stories, I would recommend this to anybody. It was a freaking masterpiece, I think. As far as I'm concerned, it was a freaking masterpiece. And the way things were all, like, the way things came in full circle, like the way things were all connected and came full circle was so well done. It was freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. There aren't even enough words for me to describe how freaking amazing it is. But yeah, just read it. That's all I can say. It was so good. That one didn't take me as long as I thought because I couldn't put it down. So I will actually get to read more books this week. I have a little stack here. None of them are very thick because that one was a heavy, thicker book. These ones are all pretty thin. I think I'm going to read this Nightmare Hall book, The Night Walker. I told you about this in my TBR video. I'm going to read this one next. I don't know if I'll update you on this today or if I'll wait a couple days and update you on Chunk of Things all at the same time. We'll see. But either way, I will keep you updated. Obviously, I'm in the car. I'm a mess today. I didn't put on any makeup or anything like that because it's raining, and I just thought, what is the point? Sorry if the phone is shaky because of how I'm holding it. Lauren with Happy Haun's Library put out a Curveball, so I'm going to go try to find someplace nostalgic to me. I had to really think about this one because, one, I couldn't remember what I like to do. That sounds really weird. But I couldn't remember places that I like to go. I remember going to a lot of sleepovers with my friends. But otherwise, I couldn't remember places that I like to go. So, maybe I was a homebody back then too. Yeah, it's raining. I know my dad said we like to fish a lot. I can't imagine me fishing because I don't like fish anymore. I don't like to fish. I don't like to touch fish. I don't like to go fishing. So, but apparently I used to like to fish. So, but it's raining, so I can't go to the lake. I know the skating rink was a place that we like to go, but I don't have the kids this weekend. It would be weird for me to go to the skating rink by myself. So I'm not going to be doing that. All the restaurants I liked, most of them are closed. There was a drive-in restaurant that I believe is still open. I don't know if it's still any good, but you go up, you honk your horn, and they come out and take your order. That's pretty cool. Maybe there. I don't know if it sounds good to me. I don't know if it's still any good. I have no idea. It's got to be still good, though. They've been open forever. There was a gas station I used to go to with my friend. Like, we would walk every day down the street to this gas station, and we would save our change. Like, we would scrounge change all day to get enough for candy bar. If we didn't have enough for each of us to get a candy bar, we would get enough for just to split one. So, but I don't want to drive all the way over there for a candy bar because it is a little drive. There's a park I used to go to over there, but my friend said it's gotten pretty shady. So, but you know, I might go and just, if nobody's there, get out and film. We'll see. Anyhow, got a few options. I'm just going to go and just fill it out, see if I could tell, just see if I can tell where I want to go. And either way, I will take a little video and keep you updated on what I get up to. It's raining off and on. We're supposed to have more storms here in a little bit, but it'll be fine. I will update you here in a bit. I attempted to go to the park, but it was super crowded. It is still standing and it's still there, but there were so many friggin' people. I think they were having a birthday party or something. Anyways, so I've decided to go to the drive-in that I used to go to. It's a drive-in restaurant, and it looks exactly the same. I didn't know what to get, so I just got a cheeseburger and some onion rings. Yeah, like as soon as I parked, they came out here and took my order. And she said, "What can I get you?" I said, "Well, I haven't been here in like 20 years, so I don't know." But yeah, they're really nice. Excuse the crack on the window because I haven't got it fixed yet, but I will show you the menu and kind of what it looks like. I'm pretty sure it's the same menu they've always had. There are no prices on it or anything, so I don't even know how much everything is now, but zoom in. So that's what that looks like. There's the crack on my window, but that's what the menu looks like. Sound horn for service. Isn't it so cute? I don't know how well you can see the menu with all the bug guts on my car because, you know, I live in the middle of mother effing nowhere. But, yeah. So, you can't see it really good, but that's what the little place looks like. It's so cute. So, there's the window. Yeah, I didn't get a view of the front of the building. It's called Wright's Drive-In. So I didn't get a view of the front of the building because I was driving and, you know, I can't film and drive. But anyhow, I'm in the car waiting for my order and it's really peaceful. I wasn't even sure where to even park. I didn't know how it worked here, but I parked on the side so that I didn't have to back out into traffic because I can't drive in reverse when there's not traffic behind me, so I didn't think that was a great idea. The food is just as unhealthy as I remember. I got onion rings and a big, very greasy cheeseburger. It's been months at least since I've had a burger. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of, I just don't eat a lot of burgers, so I'm gonna give it a try. And then onion rings I know I love, so I like burgers. It's just I don't crave them a lot, so. we're at the end of week 3. I'll update you on what I've done all week. First of all, let me update you on Wright's Drive-In, the Curveball. I'm loving the curveballs. They're so fun because you don't know what they're going to be every week, and everybody's been so creative with them. They're a lot of fun. I love how everybody does something so wildly different, and I've had fun with every single one of them. They're a blast. So Lauren with Happy Haunts Library, hers was to find somewhere nostalgic. I told you about that, and it's so cool. It gave me an excuse to go take a mini road trip. It's not far. And I could have just gone somewhere local. I could have just gone somewhere that just felt nostalgic, but I chose to go actually back to my hometown. I went to a place called Wright's Drive-In, and you saw that. I took a little video that day. The burger was not great. I don't know if that's just because I don't like burgers as much now as when I did when I was a kid, or if it's just not as good as it used to be. The onion rings were really good though. It was cool to just pull up. The place looks exactly the same. It has not changed at all. Nothing has freaking changed except for the prices, which of course they have. The place has been there forever and a day. My grandpa has taken me there. My grandpa, he's been gone for a long time. He died whenever I was 12, so he's been gone for a long time. But, he used to take me there, and my parents have taken me there. The place has been there forever. Yeah, it was cool to go there. The places that I really love to go are no longer there. Like, they've closed, unfortunately. I would have loved if those places were still open because I miss them a lot. But yeah, it was cool to go to Wright's. It was cool. I also went and drove around. I went and drove by some places that I used to live. I went and drove by my old school. And just, obviously I can't take video of places I used to live because other people live there, and that's creepy. The park that I like to go to is too crowded, like I said, but I still drove by it. It was still cool to see it. If my kids were home, I would have showed them. I would have taken them and showed them some places that I used to live and stuff, but they weren't here. Yeah, it was a good excuse. It was a good excuse to go and visit some old places and just see some things. But yeah, I'm loving these curveballs. I really think it was a cool addition to Old School April, and I think they're very creative, and I love what everybody's doing with them. And I love that you don't know what they're going to be every week. They're a lot of fun. So I enjoyed that. Let's see, what else did I get up to? I feel like I'm all over the place. I did this Goosebumps coloring page. You saw a clip of it. So in the Discord, several people have posted coloring pages, links to different sites that have coloring pages. This one is from mondaymandala.com. So there were a bunch of Goosebumps coloring pages. So I did this one. I worked on my diamond painting coaster set. I didn't get them all done, but I only did 2 coasters. So I'll do the rest of them in week 4. So I did the lobster. I still gotta do the eyes, but I did the lobster. And I did this. This is one of my favorite scenes. This is so cute, but did this one. This is one coaster set. I'm gonna get the clear coat to put on these to protect them so that I can actually use them as coasters. I just think they're so cute. We had Easter because I actually have a yard now. I have a huge yard now. So my brother and his kids came over here, and this is the first time I've ever hosted Easter, which was different. So it was a different thing this year. We had food and all that. This is the first year I've actually done anything like that in a long time. And anything holiday related in a long time, actually. So that was cool. Hung out with family and got to hide eggs. The kids are all they're getting older, and most of them, like, we even had teenagers hunting eggs, and they're kind of they're really not even really into it, but they did it anyways. And I told them next year if they think they're getting too big, they can just hide them for us. So that'd be funny. But yeah, they had fun. I watched a bunch of Dawson's Creek. I played a lot of Legend of Zelda. Had Dunkaroos. I had the Gushers, that was really good. Actually, they've changed. They're like more sour now. I don't know if I've changed or if they have changed, but one of us has changed. So they were like more sour. I didn't like them as much, which was really sad because, and I like sour things, but I don't want Gushers to change. I want the old Gushers. I want them to taste like they've always tasted, and they did not. And I did not like that. I did not appreciate that at all. I wanted them to taste the way they've always tasted, and they did not. Of course, I participated in 6 at April every day. I have not missed any of them. I did one reading sprint. Kelsi actually did one. She did one during the day, and like during a weekday, and that was really cool. I got to catch it. I'm having a hard time catching because a lot of them have been like in the evenings and the afternoons and stuff. So like my kids are they're home in the evenings, and we have a lot of homework and things like that. And that's fine. Like, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I'll just catch what I can, and then if I can, I can't. But I'm just having a really hard time catching them this time. So, but yeah, I think that's it. And then the book, as far as the books, I'll update you. Nightmare Hall, The Night Walker. This is my first Nightmare Hall book. I mean, it was okay. The good thing about it, I was surprised. There were things I didn't expect that I thought I had it figured out. I did not have things figured out. Some of the attacks were ridiculous. I just thought, of all the things you could do to a person, why that? Like, why is that your choice? And I understand this is like a teen book, so things aren't going to get too out of hand, which is fine, but still, of all the things, why that? And then one of the attacks, I thought the victims were kind of stupid. I know you shouldn't victim blame, okay, but I feel like they could have gotten away, and they were really idiotic. I'm not going to give anything away, but if you read it, you would understand. I think you would be like, why? Like, how come you didn't just get away? You had opportunity and you didn't, and why? And that's all I'll say. But there were just some things that just did not make any sense. But yeah, it did surprise me though. So I will give another one a chance. I'll read the other one, and if I think it is just, if I think the same thing, that it was just kind of silly, that I probably won't read another one. But yeah, it was okay. I give it 3 stars because it did surprise me. But if the other one is just silly too, and I think, you know, that it had a lot of things that didn't make a lot of sense, then I probably won't read another one. But I did give it 3 stars just because it did surprise me. Then I read, so I had this one on my shelf, The Society, and this is my bad, okay? I did not read the synopsis of this at all. It looks like a horror book. It is classified as horror, okay? 2 scared kids on the cover. And it says, there's something going on at school. It's powerful. It's thrilling. It's an open door to darkness. Sounds like a scary book. That's what I'm thinking. And it's short. And I just wanted something very quick that I could get through really fast. You know, I'd already read a chunky book. And I didn't read the back. That is my bad. This turned out to be Christian fiction, which is fine. This is something that, like, I probably would have got into when I was in middle grade. I probably would have really liked. By the time I figured that out, I was too far into this, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna get my points. So I got about halfway there. I'm like, why is this so preachy? Like, what? It's got spooky elements. Like, there's an Ouija board, and there's all these spooky things happening. So I'm like, if it's got horror elements to it, but then why is it so preachy? I feel like this book is like beating me over the head with religion. Like, why is it being so preachy? And then I'm like, let me read the back. Oh, okay. This is Christian fiction. But it's horror too, and it's an interesting thing to mix together. So yeah, I'm like, that's why. It's not the book's fault. Okay, I should have read that, and then I would have known, and it's not the book's fault. So I'm not going to count anything against the book for that. I'm just not going to rate it. So I should have just read it. It's not the book's fault, okay? But I was like, it really was beating me over the head with religion. But that's why. So yeah. Interesting. So I'll read you the back. It says, Ouija boards, amulets, charm pouches, just kid stuff, right? At least that's what Rebecca and Scott think when they first moved to Crescent Bay. Then they run into the Society, a select group of students who practice occultic rituals using these objects, a group that decides Becca and Scott are a threat to them and their powers. Soon the brother and sister discover the hidden powers behind the games and their dangerous consequences for those standing in its way. Not until the final showdown, when their faith is put to the ultimate test, do Scott and Rebecca realize the awesome power and victory of God over darkness. So yeah, interesting. The two siblings, they've moved to this new school, and like they have these friendships forming. They've formed their friend groups. They're going through different things. The thing that I found interesting was that they're dealing with their separate things. Like there's different points of view, but they're dealing with their separate things. You have her dealing with her issues with her, friend, and then him dealing with his separate issues, but you don't have a lot of them together, like them interacting together as siblings. And I thought that was really interesting. You'd think there would be. I mean, you have a tiny bit of them interacting together, but not really a lot. But I just noticed that. I don't know. You'd think there would be some interaction with them together. I don't have much to say about this, just because this is just not a genre that I would normally have picked up, and I'm not going to be able to say much about it. It's not something I would normally like to read, and so I don't want to say anything negative about it, because if this is something you would like to read, you might really like this, and I can't say anything negative about it because it's not the book's fault. It's my fault for not reading the synopsis, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Next thing I read was Super Beast 96 by T.D. Lawler. This one I originally saw on Josh's channel, Coffee, Cats, and King. Saw on his channel, and I knew I had to have it. And this is, of course, set in the 90s. And this group of kids, I say kids, they're like teens, late teens. They decide to go to this cabin, this remote cabin, as kind of their last get together before they all go their separate ways, before life takes them on their own journeys. Of course, they run into trouble, as you can imagine from the cover. And yeah, this was just a lot of fun. This was a super fast pace. It's about 150 pages. It's there's a really good playlist sprinkled around, because it kind of goes through what they're playing on their what CDs they're playing on their stereo, and there's also a lot of other 90s references. It almost kind of like beats you over the head with the 90s references. It's almost too much sometimes, but yeah, it's very nostalgic. If you want nostalgic vibes, this is definitely it. It has all of it. It's very fun, very fast paced, lots of very, very gruesome kills in this. The characters aren't like super deep. They're not super well developed, but that's not really what you're in this for. This is just supposed to be a super gory, super fun, nostalgic good time, and it is. That you do have some of that teen drama and some of that teen, like, will they, won't they, as far as getting together, and some of these couples are established, and then there's some like crushes thrown in there. It's short. There's not much I can say about it without giving anything away, but yeah, it was just a really good time, and definitely gruesome and gory. And you're thrown into it pretty much right away. I had a really good time with it. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It was a lot of fun. I believe that was it. I should have week 4 next week. I think I will end up, because after week 4 there's a few more days left of the month, and I think I'll just drag week 4 out a little bit longer. Like, I'll just make it a little bit longer of a video, longer of a vlog, and just kind of mix it up, and just, you know what I mean, like have week 4 be a little bit, the last vlog be a little bit longer than a week, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that makes sense. Like, have the finale be a little bit longer than a week. Anyhow, I don't know how I'll do that yet, but I think that's how I want to do it. We'll see. And then also, I should be having my May TBR video up soon. I haven't decided if I'll put that up next Tuesday or if I'll have that be up the following week. I have a lot of I don't knows. Can you tell? I don't have my shit together at all. I haven't got it all worked out. I need to look at a calendar and see how I want to work all that. Anyhow, I'll get it together eventually. I really will. I know for sure this book is going to be in the next video because I've already started it. So I know for sure this B-movie Bloodbath. I'm having a great freaking time with this, so I can already tell you this will be in the next video. And I don't know what else, because this one is 386 pages. I really would like to have American Psycho in the next one, because that one is calling to me. We'll see. I know it's a little bit chunkier of a book too, but I'm mood reading. I know I'm supposed to be going for like points, but also I really mood reading. I haven't been in the mood for Goosebumps. I haven't been in the mood for Fear Street. I've been in the mood for other things. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, I guess next week's going to be how I handle the next couple videos is going to be a surprise. We'll see. I don't know. Either way, I will see you next Friday. Bye for now.